Okay, hello second graders. Today we are looking at lesson 7-2. They're going to ask us to practice both addition and subtraction problems, and specifically word problems. We're going to find that on page 397. So you can please go ahead and take out your book, your pencil, and you can see here we're on page 7-2 or lesson 7-2, and our page number is 397. Okay, all right. I'm going to go ahead and read here what Jada is saying, and you can go ahead and follow in your book. Aiden has 27 fewer crayons this week than last week. Last week he had 56 crayons. How many crayons does Aiden have this week? Show your work. Okay, so we know that in word problems, a great way to start organizing our information is by using a parts to whole chart. So I'm going to go ahead and start by setting up a parts to whole chart here. And then I'm going to go back and re-identify what I need, my important information. So Aiden has 27 fewer crayons. And I know that last week he had 56 crayons. And the question is asking me, how many crayons does Aiden have this week? Okay, so we know how many crayons he started with last week. He started with 56 altogether. But this week, he's lost 27 of those crayons. He has 27 fewer. Okay, so in thinking about my parts to whole chart, if I know that 56 is how many he had altogether at the beginning, I know that that is going to be the whole of my parts to whole chart. 56 is how many he had altogether. Okay, then this week something happened. He lost 27 of them. Okay, and what I need to do is solve for how many he has left. All right, so a couple of things there. I know that when I'm solving for what is left, I'm going to be subtracting, right? I'm not going to be putting the numbers together and making them bigger. I'm going to be subtracting to see how many he has left. And then the other visual that I have to help me figure out if I'm adding or subtracting is by looking at this parts to whole chart. I know if I have a part that is missing, I'm going to be subtracting, right? When the whole is missing, I'm taking these two numbers and I'm adding them to get to the whole. But if I have a part missing, I'm going to be subtracting, okay? So whenever I subtract, I start with my biggest number. So I'm starting with 56, and I'm going to be subtracting 27. Now, there's several ways that we can do this, right? We can line up tens and ones. We can use compensation or breaking apart. So you can solve in any way that you like best. I'm going to go ahead and line up tens and ones for this one. So I have 56 minus 27. Okay, I'm going to start in my ones, and I know 6 minus 7 I can't do. So I'm going to go next door to my tens. And now instead of 5 tens, I'm going to have 4 tens. And I'm going to take that 10 and add it to my 6. So now instead of 6, I have 16. Okay, and 16 minus 7 gives me 9. And 4 minus 2 gives me 2, for a total of 29 crayons. So now I know that this week he has 29 crayons left. I'm going to go ahead and add it also into my blank below for 29 crayons. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. If you need another minute, go ahead and pause the video. But we're going to look at the green boxes on the next page for some more examples. So first box says, Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel. Sally has 26 blocks. How many blocks does Nigel have? So Jada says, let's think about who has fewer blocks and who has more blocks. That's where she starts, okay? The next part says that a bar diagram can help you think about the problem. So Nigel's blocks, we don't know how many he has, but we know that Sally's blocks are 26 and that there's 28 blocks fewer. So in this case, I have my two parts filled in and I'm looking to solve for the whole, right? And that means that we're going to be adding. There's our operation. Jada says, Sally has 28 fewer blocks than Nigel. That means Nigel has more blocks than Sally. You need to add, right? And here she has everything set up. So I know that 26 for part 1, 28 for part 2, and I'm missing the top. Okay, so Jada uses the same strategy to lining up. She has 26 plus 28. Go ahead and trace that. Okay, in her ones, she has 6 plus 8, which gives 14, but we know we can't put 2 digits here, so I carry the 1 and I put the 4 below for 14. And in my tens place, I have 1 plus 2, which gives me 3, and 3 plus 2, which gives me 5, for a total of 54. Okay, so if I were to take it back to this parts to whole, or this bar diagram in this case, I know 54 is how many I have for the whole. Okay, so let's go ahead and move down to our guided practice. It says solve the problem any way you choose. Use drawings and equations to help. So let's take a look at number 1. By drawings and equation, by drawings in this case, as we've talked about, parts to whole or bar diagrams are the best strategy to help you organize your information. So number 1 says Lakota has 11 fewer magnets than Jeffrey. Lakota has 25 magnets. How many magnets does Jeffrey have? Okay, so I'm identifying important information. I know that Lakota has 11 fewer than Jeffrey. And I know that Lakota has 25 magnets. What I don't know is how many Jeffrey has. Okay, so that is my unknown. I know that Lakota has 25 magnets. And I know that that is 11 fewer than Jeffrey. Okay, so Jeffrey has to have more. So we're going to be adding those numbers to find out how many Jeffrey has. Okay, so here they lined up tens and ones. I have 25 plus 11. Okay, so in my ones, 5 plus 1 gives me 6. And in my tens, 2 plus 1 gives me 3, for a total of 36. Okay, so my unknown is 36. And I know I have 36 magnets. Okay. All right, guys. So that is going to be what our independent work looks like for today. Okay. The independent practice asks you to solve each problem any way you choose. So again, if this is not your best strategy, lining up tens and ones, you can do breaking apart, or you can do compensation, or you can do an open number line to solve, okay, whether that be addition or subtraction. So solve each problem any way you choose. Use drawings and equations to help. Show your work, okay? All right, so for today, I'd just like you to focus on numbers 2, 3, and 4, okay? And then if you're feeling like you're really in the flow and you're, enthusiastic, go ahead and work on number 5 as well. But these 3 will be great if you can just focus on those, okay? All right, questions come up, you can always bring them to our Google Meets. I will be seeing you guys real soon. Until then, take care, okay, guys? Bye.